Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this important event. Today, I'm going to discuss with you about a very important issue. The main topic is about how digitalization improved the life of communities, remote communities, how it affected the social infrastructure, how it gave many new opportunities for all of us. And now we're going to start with this presentation. So if you want, I will just share a little bit about myself. My name is Niv Schwartz. For the past 13 years, I was engaging in international business. I've established a company in Hong Kong, in China, and I am from Israel. These advantages that I have by learning about different cultures has assisted me to learn about the social infrastructure, also in rural China, in India, and during my travels also in Latin America. So let's start with this person. How many of you know this person? I'm sure that many of you know him. His name is Kabi Lame. He is one of the most famous influencers now online. He is ranked as number 2 in the TikTok most famous artist. He's an artist. Why are we talking about Kabi? Kabi is an immigrant. He moved from Senegal to Italy. During the beginning of COVID, he lost his job. And as a result, he started making these videos at home. He was living with his parents because he couldn't afford his own apartment. So his parents were like mocking him. Why are you doing these stupid videos about nonsense? But he was stubborn, he was persistent, and as a result, our Kabi now is worth over $2 million. I think what we can learn about this is the power of social media and how incredible this period of time that we are now can actually influence every ambitious and talented person in the world. Now, coming back to the topics that we will discuss today, we will start with talking about social mobility, how people from rural communities, from lower social economic status can actually evolve and build their businesses, build their own personal brand, and of course, improve their expertise. We will also talk about the new ecosystems that emerged. We're going to talk about the social impact that corporates have to embrace and how it will also affect each one of us. And we will finalize with a very nice conclusion that will give everyone precious insights about how they can improve their own personal and financial status. Let's talk about social mobility. These are the 5 A's of technology access. You know, in today's world, we constantly talk about the companies like Amazon and Meta and how they are have these, endless amount of money and resources and how they're only getting richer. But actually, we also owe them a very big favor. Now, they have also assisted us to build a new ecosystem to make drop shipping accessible if it's for any retailers or any traders. It's a very, very big hot thing that assisted people that they said, okay, I just want to earn some extra money, and eventually they turn into very big and prosperous businesses of managing online stores. Regarding Facebook, the social media has assisted pretty much every small business to have the access. It's a much lower threshold. You don't need a very big budget to promote yourself on television like 30 years ago. You can actually access, and you can also target your segmentation if it's according to your geographical location, or it can also be according to the field of interest. So these are actually the 5 A's that technology access is very, very important, because we know that nowadays, even in rural communities all around the world, it doesn't matter if it's in Brazil, if it's in India and China, we're actually utilizing technology to make communication accessible to all. We're doing it by satellite communication, and now there is many more developments by optical and other very, very advanced technologies and disruptive technologies that aim to improve the lives of all. Our next topic is going to be the new communities, the new ecosystems that were created in the past 10 years. If we go back in history, before the booming internet and digitalization improvements, for me to be based in one part of the world and hire someone in the other part of the world was pretty much risky. It would be very, very complex. It was pretty much from a compliance perspective, it would be impossible. But today, we've built communities. These communities assist me as a business owner to hire people remotely, and actually without even meeting them. I have to say that until today, I have hired maybe several dozens of freelancers around the world that I've never met. But with these platforms, such as Fiverr, Upwork, and freelancer.com, I was able to gain confidence that they will perform the job in a good way. They will be excellent for my needs. They will be get paid according to the compliance, and everyone are happy. And this is something that is really changing the economy as we know today. Especially now in the post-COVID-19 era, we can also see that more and more businesses tend to outsource the work, even if it's very famous. It can be the unicorn startups. They also have remote offshore teams for development. They hire experts around the world. So actually, we created a very great online community of talents. And this is a great opportunity for all of us. So let's also talk about how these freelancers, how the offshore talents are being paid. I just took 3 examples of very famous companies that are actually taking care of the salary slip for employees that are being found offshore. For me, if I'm based in New York and I want to hire someone in Mexico, at the moment I need to register a company in Mexico. I need to find a lawyer. I need to find an accountant. I need to make sure that all of the financial compliance with banking, etc., is settled. Otherwise, I won't be able to hire him. But today, thanks to the development of the technology, we're able to do so. Actually, it's easy, just like surfing the web. You just hire people. They're getting paid with low commissions and the processing fee, and it's great. This is a great opportunity for all of us. Even if we believe that we are leading in a specific field, but no one knows us yet, so we can actually promote ourselves on these platforms. We can promote ourselves if we're, let's say, video editors, if we're content writers, if we're interpreters, we do translations, we do graphics. Actually, we can see as an example that these communities have created an ecosystem. For example, if you travel to Pakistan or in India, you would see that there are many experts that they were building their name, they're building their brand on these platforms. As a result, they have been able to prosper and also hire locally. So this very great change from being in poverty, and all of a sudden, through the usage of technology, you've been able to rise, to stand up, and also hire people locally. These people, in a matter of 2 or 3 years, have become very successful and very rich only by doing this, by being persistent, using the digitalization and grow. And today, there's no excuse, and each one of us can use these platforms in order to grow, to being paid remotely, and of course, create value to the world. Another very important issue is how the digitalization encourages innovation. We see that every time that there is a new idea, a new concept that is being presented to the world by, for example, a Meta, if we're talking about the metaverse, or is NFT, or any other solution now in the market, we have another ecosystem that is being created out of scratch. So another beauty of the digitalization, that the information is now decentralized. If you want to learn about any specific topic and any specific industry, you can simply go online, spend time. You need to spend time, which is, of course, equally distributed between everyone, and you need to learn about. So I'll just take the metaverse. If you want to master the new metaverse advertising, you need to learn and always be on top of what is happening, because it's still a new field. It's a new vertical that is being created as we speak. You still have an opportunity. And thanks to digitalization, you're pretty much equal to any big corporate that is working in the field of advertising. You just need to master it because it's new for everyone. Let's talk about the social impact. As I mentioned before, our company is actually engaging in marketing in China and also in other regions in APAC. So I had to choose an example, a very interesting example of how the social media has impacted our lives. So if we're talking about individuals, we can see that it really gave a lot of awareness to gender equality, to minority equality, and animal rights. If we're talking about the next step of fundraising, there are very, very famous campaigns of people that are in need. If it's after any earthquake, people that lost their houses, it can be floods, and people gather together. And I know that many of our viewers are come from different regions in the world, and we all have this sense of humanity of helping people in need. So I know that people gather around and help each other when times are bad. And let's talk a little bit more about small businesses. As I said, the threshold of advertising is much lower now. You can have a Facebook promotion campaign for several dollars and create more awareness. But you can also do it for free on platforms such as Instagram. You can do it on TikTok, and you can create more awareness. And then it is very, very authentic rather than just promoting yourself on an advertisement. So as I promised, a very interesting, I will not tell you who she is. This is, I'm sure that not many of you recognize her, but if you got a chance to see a very, very famous video blogger on YouTube from China, her name is Li Zixi. Li Zixi is a farmer. She came from the countryside of China, from not so, I would say, lucky family, and she started a video blog about her daily life, how she cooks, how she goes to the field and she gets the crops, and she's handling all of their day chores. And for many people in the West, it was a great opportunity for kind of an escapism after a hard day at work. Doesn't matter if I'm doing finance in New York or I'm an engineer in Germany, I would go online and I would follow her blog. It would give me 5, 10, 20 minutes a day of just relaxation and see another side of the world. She became so famous that an agency took her under her custody, and then they started promoting her also in China. And we will talk about her impact in a few more seconds. In order for you to understand, I prepared a 1-minute clip so I can show you, and you will understand about the beauty in her videos. So here it is. You can see very authentic. As you can see, the quality of the shooting is very, very good because this is after she became famous. But this is a video how she's taking the sugar cane and she's making sugar at home in a very traditional method. And you see that she's harnessing all of her, I would say, dollar resources. But this is something that is very unique because most of the modern world, we do not know how this process is being done. This is not something that we encounter on a daily basis. So this great example, how you can start from nothing as a farmer, and then you can grow and you become very, very famous. All right, so let's talk about the impact she had. After she became famous, farmers became much more proud about their work. They felt that it's a pride to share how they're feeding rather than feeling that they are in a lower economic position comparing to people that live in the cities. And then another ecosystem was born. They were starting to sell directly to the people from a village in Yunnan. They started selling directly to the rich people in Shanghai with a very high margin. So they have also became more prosperous. They came in a much better position, and their business has thrived just with the power of digitalization. In my eyes, this is amazing. If you don't recognize the logo of Weibo, Weibo is the Chinese Twitter. It has about 575 million monthly active users. That's quite a lot, but there are much stronger platforms in China nowadays. Also, how digitalization impacts the farming technology. So, from my experience and working with global companies in the field of agriculture technology, I have seen that the usage of drones can really make the lives of farmers simple. Usage of big data, using satellite, using GPS. You can very easily realize when there are maybe floods coming or heavy rain or diseases for the plants, of course, and you can actually earn more money by usage of technology, be more efficient, and save time. And now, my favorite topic, we will talk about the social responsibility, or in initials, it's CSR. Corporate social responsibility is a very, very big thing in the past 10 years. It can also be said as ESG. ESG is another, I would say, a more broad term that is actually kind of assessing the policies of companies of not being here only for profit, but also know that their growth is part of being giving contribution to the community, to the environment, and to the society. So every multinational company has it. It doesn't matter if it's Shell, it doesn't matter if it's Google or Microsoft or Intel. But unfortunately, in smaller companies, in small and medium businesses, it's not so common, or maybe not in such a systematic way. And I heard a very interesting lecture of Tony Robbins that I'm sure most of you know, that he said that even in the time that he didn't have nothing and he was not so successful as he is today, he said that no matter what, you need to learn how to give in order to get. And I embraced it, and I've also implemented this very important policy in our company. And I know it, besides the benefits of improving and boosting the brand image and attracting more personnel and talents and attracting more consumers, but it really changed, it really made an impact on the world. So we're a small team, we're only 12 employees worldwide and growing, of course, but we have done a lot of things that are relatively, I would say, impressive. For example, in 2016, we've planted over 1,500 trees after a very big forest fire. We're actively supporting 6 nonprofits, which means that out of every 10% of our profits go directly to these nonprofit organizations, and we're promoting animal welfare, and we're promoting assistance for people that are in need. And our team is a majority of women. Actually, we're a minority. The guys are a minority here. And we have a diversified team, people with all walks of life. And this is the beauty of being a global company, that we don't only hire, let's say, white American male. We hire people from all around the world. And this is what I think makes our company special. What are the key takeaways from our incredible speech today? So I think what we can all learn from that is that in today's world, if you're talented, if you're, I would say, persistent, you can succeed. And we saw these examples of a farmer from China or an immigrant that just recently moved to Italy. If you're very devoted and you know that you're giving value, in the end of the day, the global community will embrace you. The second one is the skill set that is needed is changing. If 30 years ago, your mother would tell you, go be a lawyer or go be a doctor or go be an accountant, which are important until today. But now, even if you only graduate from high school, you can still be a millionaire/billionaire by knowing what are the trends, by conveying your message right. And the skills that we need is, first of all, understand the market, understand what people need, if you're good at something, just go for it. You don't need to. Sometimes we listen too much to I would say, what the society wants us to do. Go with your heart. Try. Worst case, you will succeed. That's a sentence I really like to say every time someone comes up with a great idea. I say, just try. Worst case, you will succeed. I think that something else is very important is that there are new economies that are growing all the time. We talked about the influencer media, we talked about the new metaverse, we talked about NFTs and the services. So as I said, if the skill set that now is needed is video editing, it can be graphic designing, it can be content writing, it can be anything that people need. It can be search engine optimization. You have a huge hundreds of billions of dollars are being spent on these industries. You as a freelancer or as a junior or as a beginner, you can still grow and you can still significantly increase your income. And I think the last and not least is the consumerism as we know it today is changing. I've recently read a research that more than 35% of Americans say that they would prefer paying more money in order to get a product or a service from a company that really cares about the world, that care about the society. There is a very famous UK-based brand that is selling shoes that for every pair of shoes that you buy, they donate another pair of shoes. And I think that in 2 years of their first operation, they've increased, they got to a sales of somewhere around 1 billion pounds of sale, this is incredible. And I think we can also think how we can do it in our communities and kind of having, the concept of karma. I'm here to do good for the world. When I will do good for the world, I know that good things will happen to me and I will get financial blessings. So I also want to thank again to each one of you for being here. And I also did it in Spanish. Muchas gracias. And I will be very happy to attend the next event. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or any other platform.